بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
دكتور أحمد.
السلام عليكم. صوت واضح مسموع يا ترى؟
واضح يا دكتور أحمد، تفضل.
شكرا يا دكتور أشرف.
حبيبي.
بادئ ذي بدء طبعا، بنعزي أنفسنا في أستاذنا الدكتور ثروت مقبل، الأخ العزيز الفاضل، فعلا يعني كان صديق عزيز، الله يرحمه ويحسن إليه. وكذلك بنعزي أنفسنا في الأستاذ خالد رشاد، أستاذنا وزميلنا، أستاذ العلوم في قسم الطب وجراحة العيون كلية الطب جامعة اسكندرية.
بقاء الدوام.
بقاء الدوام لله. بنبدأ المحاضرة بتاعتنا وهي ربع ساعة بنتكلم فيها عن WhiteStar Technology. I hope to stick to time because I know that we have break after that for 15 minutes to have the next session. So what is the WhiteStar Technology? The Signature, Classic, and Signature Pro. Honestly, all of the time, I'm trying to be unbiased in the commercial lectures for the companies. And I'm trying to send a message for the people who are listening to the lectures without being biased to certain machines or certain drugs for the companies. So the aim of this presentation mainly are two aims, which are very clear and specific. Number one, the dual pump technology that's present in the signature machine, which is one of the very good advantages for this machine. And I don't think that the other phaco machines, most of them in the market, they have dual pump technology that you can shift from one pump to another that we're going to understand later on. And the second is the Ellipse FX technology and the difference between it and the Ozil technology. So let's take those two messages or two aims to understand them. And I'm speaking in English because I know that some of the audience are non-Arabic speakers. So I'm trying to speak in English all the lecture to help them understand the whole lecture. So to start with, this WhiteStar Signature Classic and Pro phacoemulsification system, it has an outstanding clinical performance with total practice optimization, which is something again new that we are going to give a hint about it at the end of the lecture. What's this outstanding clinical performance? The on-demand fluidics. One of the major problems in our surgeries, whether when you need high energy or high ultrasonic power or low vacuum, how to adjust the fluidics of the case. Every case has its own fluidics. Every case, I'm asking my assistant, please decrease the power, increase the vacuum, control the aspiration. And every time I'm doing my surgery, when I start phaco 1, I'm asking my assistant, what are the parameters? When he shifts or she shifts to phaco 2, I ask them, what are the parameters? So all of the time, you have to know the parameters that you are working with in every case, because every case is honestly specific and has its own situations. So in this signature, the fluidics can be chosen depending on the pump. We have two main pumps in any machine, whether the peristaltic pump, as you just remember from the phaco machine dynamics, it's a pump which acts like beads that turns around the tubes, and it by the beading of the tubes, it creates the vacuum. So the vacuum is created slowly and it increases slowly and it's under control. So the build up of the holdability and the fluidics is slow all over the time. And the second pump is the Venturi pump. As you know, the Venturi is a powerful pump that initiates the vacuum immediately, very high vacuum. So it's a fast pump. It's more used by the posterior segment surgeons. This chart is very nice, illustrates when we need each pump during our surgery. So the peristaltic pump is needed more in the sculpting technique because you need slow phaco power, depending on the hardness of the nucleus, whether N1 or N2 low power, or if it's more have higher power. And the cracking also you still need the peristaltic pump, but less. And also in the segment removal, you need to disassemble the parts of the nucleus into small parts, and this disassembly needs good holdability. And then when the epinucleus comes, so it is soft, it is relatively safe, you need faster and stronger and more rapid way to remove this epinucleus and cortex and irrigation aspiration and even the OBD. So here the Venturi pump works more as it works fast, usually, and with high pressure. And in the critical area, in the starting area, prefer to use the peristaltic pump. So the value of this peristaltic mode, or we can say the safe mode, or we can say the slow mode, that we use the peristaltic pump for the anterior chamber stability, as it has very good holdability, so it enhances the control with high vacuum, low flow, and holds large lens fragments at the tip, so you can control the procedure during sculpting, cracking, segment removal, and epinucleus form. As you see here, with this peristaltic pump, when we start the phacoemulsification, see how these air bubbles are so regular. This means that the ultrasound power does not go to the back of the cornea. This means that this cornea is protected and its endothelium is protected, even with this grade 4 nucleus with brown, nearly brown cataract. The disassembly, the division of the nucleus into small parts with very stable air bubble till the late stages of the surgery, and very clean wound without any burn and stable anterior chamber. As you see here, we depend mainly on the power that may reach up to 400, but here the ultrasound does not exceed the 25%, and it's very important to look to the average power. So it's 8% only the phaco time, and average phaco time by the WhiteStar technology. So in this case, we are using the peristaltic pump, and in spite of being the nucleus is relatively hard, but the flowability, and be careful with this slow motion picture that will keep the phaco tip just behind the middle of the eye. This keeping the phaco tip behind the middle of the eye all of the time helps the flowability of the nucleus to come to the phaco tip without going after the particles. Again, with the chopper, because this is, as you see, a nearly brown cataract, you can enhance the procedure with no wound burn at the end, and the total average time is 10% average phaco power. And as you see, the amount of the ultrasound used was very minimum. On the other hand, the Venturi mode for efficient extraction, or the fast mode, when we switch to the Venturi pump, for it has more flowability and it's fast flowability. Venturi pump initiates the vacuum fast. So this fast initiation of the vacuum enhances the efficiency of the flowability of the lens matter with a low vacuum and high flow. And all of the time, it's preferable to be used in the epinuclear fragments, the cortex, the irrigation aspiration, OVD, when it is not, it is relatively safe and it's not endangering the posterior capsule. As you see here it's written on the overlay, it's on Venturi, and starting the sculpting first, it's nearly black cataract, so you need powerful power up to 55%, and the vacuum in the early stages doesn't exceed the 70 millimeter mercury till the division. It's black cataract, as you see, till the red reflex appears, the division, and all of this work with the Venturi pump, and see how much is the average effective phaco time, which is the average percentage of the ultrasound that hits the back of the cornea, using the Ellipse technology that we are going to understand later on, with the WhiteStar technology, which means 6 pulses per second. So this very small pulses at a time, with division of the nucleus, which is nearly black, as I said, grade 4 or 5, and the very good stable anterior chamber. It keeps the wound all of the time without any burn, without any haziness of the cornea due to corneal edema. Of course, we are giving a lot of viscoelastic and a lot of OVDs to keep the cornea clear. And by the chopping technique, the regular chopping technique, you can finish the nucleus easily and rapidly, giving more viscoelastic and protecting the posterior capsule with the spatula. As you see here at the end, the effective phaco time and power is 24%.
سامعينك يا دكتور احمد قبل كده، اتفضل.
حصل حاجة في جرس ضرب ما اعرفش منين وانا
مش عارف عند مين دي.
عندي
ما يا
شوية.
ريت كله يعمل سايلنت يعني.
هشوف كده لان انا راحت من عندي الشاشة.
والله
اه
هي عندنا بس ستاند ستيل.
طب ثانية واحدة، انا عملت شير تاني.
كده.
set بروفيشنال اوديو ماشي اوكي. حضرتك سامعني يا دكتور اشرف؟
سامع كويس.
اوكي شكرا جزيلا.
لا.
This both peristaltic and Venturi pumps, it have it both ways. So experience an impact of an on-demand fluidics. It could be, and please concentrate on those two boxes. You can choose one pump at a time, peristaltic for the intraoperative control, and you can continue all of the time with the peristaltic in one case, or Venturi for efficient extraction, as we saw previously in the case of the black cataract. Or you can use it in combination, and this is a very good advantage that you can switch between the pumps during the surgery to maximize the benefits of each within a case. So you can switch from the peristaltic to the Venturi pump in the same case, and this is another advantage which really I don't think that other machines has this advantage. The excellent chamber stability, it is one of the big advantages to keep all of the time the fluidics stable, as this proactive monitoring technology helps maintain the intraocular pressure throughout your procedure. What's the advantage of keeping our intraocular pressure stable throughout the procedure? Mainly, it reduces the post-occlusion surge. As we know, when we hold the part of the nucleus and then we remove this part, there is a surge because there is a lack of the high vacuum that was present. So the difference between the total removal of the part of the nucleus and the fluid after that results in very low fluid, and it may decrease the intraocular pressure. If you don't have good intraocular pressure throughout your procedure, you may face a post-occlusion surge, which definitely will affect the endothelium of the cornea. This is another case showing the how the anterior chamber is stable. Let's skip the first stages of the capsulorhexis and see in a slow motion how the shattering effect is minimum, using very slow, doesn't exceed more than 20% power, and here the vacuum is not high because we are in the first stage, but we have high aspiration rate up to 40 millimeter mercury. Then after the division, we can move a little bit forward to see how this assembly of the nucleus or the holdability depends mainly on the vacuum, which is up to 450 millimeter mercury. And here the ultrasound does not exceed the 30% because we are in the second stage or the phaco 2. And again, at the end of the surgery, the average effective phaco time or ultrasound does not exceed the 16%. All of the time, keep the WhiteStar technology and the Ellipse technology in your mind, because this definitely decreases the corneal edema. And to be honest, it is one of the best machines that I don't find corneal edema after the surgery, in spite of being very hard nuclei and difficult surgeries and rough nucleus at the surgery. But at the end, you have a very good average phaco time, which means that your cornea mostly will be clear next day. What about the second point, or the Ellipse technology? Simply the Ellipse FX technology, and please, I'll try to let you understand what is this technology acts like. It doesn't only act like a longitudinal regular phacoemulsification, and it doesn't only act like transverse or torsional phaco like the Ozil technique in the Infinity, but it acts both of them at the same time. In the other machines which has the longitudinal and the transverse, the longitudinal acts at a time. At this time, the transverse or the rotational Ozil technology does not act in the same time of the longitudinal. But in the Ellipse FX technology, they act in an elliptical form, so it acts longitudinally and transverse at the same time. And let's see in this animation, this is the torsional phaco, which is the transverse movement or the torsional movement only. Okay, but while you see this is the longitudinal movement, and in any other machine that has torsional movement, each one acts at a time. But in the Ellipse technology, both of them act at the same time, the longitudinal and the transverse at the same time. This, of course, longitudinal and transverse or rotational technology helps more in more eating and fast eating of the nucleus and even it can work with a straight needle or with a curved needle. This is a very important point to understand in the Signature and the Signature Pro machines, which again, I didn't find it in any other phaco machine. Just a hint, because I know that the time is, we exceeded the time, just a hint about it has a state-of-the-art analysis that you can analyze your phaco machine, phaco case, every case that you can put it on a certain program, and this program can be translate all your phaco cases and to see what are your defects. Are you using ultrasound more or not, or are you using the vacuum more? And one of the nice advantages beside the retractors, which are present in all machines, and the cautery, it has a wireless remote control that you can control the up and down of the level of the bottle or the ultrasound at any time with the wireless machine. To summarize, the WhiteStar Signature Classic and Pro system are designed for ultimate versatility in and beyond the operating room, as you can choose the pump that fits your technique. You can easily switch modes within a case, and it works with your preferred phaco tip, and you can tailor your operating room to your unique needs. Thank you so much. Sorry for being late for a minute. شكرا جزيلا. ألف شكر.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Thank you.
شكرا دكتور أشرف. تهيألي احنا كده في بريك لمدة ربع ساعة. احنا الحمد لله we are sticking to time.
Just 5 minutes يا
5 minutes بس، مش ربع ساعة.
كفايه عليكم.
زي ما انت عايزين، بس هو حاضر 5 minutes.
البروجرام 5 minutes، لو عايزين ربع ساعه مفيش مشكله.
لا سوري
شوف الدكتور محسن عاوز ايه.
لا انا اسف، انا افتكرت البروجرام ربع ساعه بيه. احنا to stick to the program لان الناس طبعا ملتزمه بالبروجرام. صح 5 minutes. I'm sorry 5 minutes to come back ان شاء الله for the panel of محسن ابو شكرا. شكرا.